G'day folks, welcome to allfasteners.com.au. Today we've got some very special guests, some very valued clients of Allfasteners from Melbourne, Australia, all the way from, what suburb are we based in?
Nidri.
Yeah. Just over near the freeway there. This is Matt and John from Casello.
G'day.
Good evening, fellas, and cheers.
Cheers.
It's Friday somewhere.
It's after 10.
A bit of a shout out to Fury and Son Brewery of Keilor Park. Not getting paid to say that, by the way, but it's good stuff anyway. Guys, I got you in to talk to you about a couple of, well, one particular topic in particular, but I'd like to find out a little bit more about Casello. So I'll get you to let me know what you guys do at the company and a little bit of the history as well. So I'll start with you, John, because you're looking at me straight.
No worries. We started in 1998. We're a commercial carpentry, cladding and labour hire company. So do all external type of cladding, all interior wall linings. Part of timber framing, no metal framing, and we do second fix fit out, doors, hardware, sanitary, skirting. We've ventured obviously into the cladding market with the composite cladding and the solid alley with all the stuff that's been going on. We're into the reclads as well, the reclad market at the moment. Mm-hmm. And we provide a labour hire service to all our our tier 1 builders that we work for. Yep. And we've got roughly 200 guys all on the books, and we sort of have a percentage of, say, probably 50 are in cladding. We usually have about 30 to 40 rotating through the labour hire. The rest are all the carpentry crew. And we usually hold on to between 20 and 30 apprentices. Okay,
so this is Melbourne-centric in Victoria?
Yeah. A lot of CBD work. We also are down in Geelong, Hastings, Shepparton, Bendigo, but predominantly, CBD work.
Great. So, Matt, what about you? What's your role there? What's
your
involvement?
Before my role, I suppose I want to touch on, we also do a fair bit of cement sheet, cladding and that type of stuff as well. And we install weird and wonderful new stuff from all over the world from time to time as well. So quite a diverse market that we do touch on. My role, Casello, I've been Casello now just on 12 and a bit years. I started off there as a leading hand under Jono, and probably lucky to still be there based on those days. But then I had no one else.
It was a book only one page long.
Yeah, exactly. Then I ventured into becoming a site supervisor for a while, working alongside Jono, and now still working alongside him, but I look after procurement and tender letting for Casello, which is quite a challenging role on a day-to-day basis with managing multiple relationships with multiple suppliers. So we have quite a diverse group of suppliers. We don't always use the same supplier for the same product. Yep. It's job centric and area centric as well. So depending on what we're doing at what job on what time is what we're sort of vetting and letting and trying to spread the load, because you know that if we give all of our work to one door manufacturer, they can't keep up. So it's more about trying to play the balancing of plates.
Right. So by the sounds of it, it's a fine line between, under managing the project and maybe bloating it to the point where people can't see the end of what they're trying to complete, or how does that actually work?
Yeah, I suppose I don't really deal with the day-to-day site stuff. That's more Jono. Like Jono manages, I suppose, as construction manager, manages every site Casello has. Now, I would prefer to run material than do what he's got to do, because sometimes I just shake my head with amazement.
Very good supervisors and leading hands, which make the job very easy. So.
Okay. No worries. Well, that actually does lead me straight to the topic I wanted to talk with you guys today. Pretty much this month at Allfasteners has been Worksite Efficiency Month. And we've been talking about a lot of things about construction methods, whether it be prefab and modular and all this kind of stuff. So we're talking about the shell of the building rather than really what you guys are doing. So I guess really what I'd start off with is a bit of a lighthearted story, if you've got one on you, about back in the day when you were green at a TAFE or wherever you did your trade.
Yeah.
Have you got a story of something that took you way longer than it should and you learned a good lesson that day?
I suppose every apprentice will tell you doing the roofing component at trade school, hand pitching roofs, and actually there was, even just when I started, they were still knocking around in OB hardwood, which you don't see anymore. But yeah, doing the roofing component, and then basically all you do is, if you do go into the framing, is use trusses, so it's all computerised. You just stand them up and nail them off. So you spend all that time work, unless you're pitching your pergola at home, then that's something that has been surpassed by technology and so quicker methods.
The days are long gone.
Yeah, and as you were saying with prefab stuff before, obviously all your wall framing, especially in commercial, 90% of it, if you did a timber frame, would be prefab.
So it's coming in pretty much in components off-site.
Yeah, you're standing it. That's about it. But we also do in the last few years, installation of bathroom pods.
Yep.
We've done many for Lendlease, some for Icon.
So for the lesser well-versed people at home who don't know what a bathroom pod is, what is a bathroom pod?
It's your whole bathroom / ensuite. Comes off the back of a truck, craned up, wheeled into position, and you connect the services to it. It's all done. It's tiled. It's plastered. All the fittings.
It's got your towel rails, everything,
toilet,
everything in it ready to go.
So
lights, the whole lot. All you do is plug in your power and your plumbing, and away you go.
Right. So what sort of would that lend itself to more of a high-rise application?
Yeah.
As well. Okay. Was it craned in at any height?
Yeah.
That sort of thing?
They just go with their lifting points or the cages.
And they load them in via the loading bins, or they call them Preston bins, but that's a brand.
Yep.
You load them in via the loading bay, wheel them in with a pallet jack, sit them in place, level them up, and then 9 times out of 10 they plumb them up, electrify them, and away you go.
How much quicker is that on site, you reckon? Percentage-wise? 90%?
Exactly. Yeah, if not more. Yeah.
So what about on a personal level, Matt? Something you might have done in your early 20s? Or...
Oh, early 20s, wowee. I suppose I had done a bit of a different apprenticeship. I just didn't do carpentry. I done carpentry joinery. So I was fortunate enough to spend half of my apprenticeship in a joinery shop and half of it out on site with the same company. I look back to skirting and how we used to have to scribe every corner, and you had to undercut the back of them and overlap it and sit it in. And these days, everyone's just everyone's got a drop saw. Back in the day, not everyone had a 45 compound drop saw, so you could actually do your fancy skirting and that. And now it's like, I look at how quickly our guys do a room of skirting to how quickly it used to take, like how long it used to take us, and
90% of it's all square.
Yeah, exactly.
Profile now.
And that's another thing that's changed too. Yeah.
What was your mistake rate back then?
Oh, quite high.
Yeah,
quite high. There's not much point hiding it.
I'll share one with you because it's only fair. Never been trained in the trades at all. Humble marketing guy myself, but back in the 90s, I worked at a Mitre 10 in New South Wales as a retail trainee. I think I was 18, 19. We had some shade cloth on the big roll, selling it by the metre at the back, and a really long yard with the gas canisters and enough room for a semi-trailer to pull up at the back. Customer come in one day and said, I want 15 metres of shade cloth. And I knew this was the wrong thing as soon as I completed doing it. I pulled out the full 15 and laid it on the ground, and my boss came out and was like, what the hell are you doing? And I found out that day there was such thing as a 1 metre ruler. Yeah. Fold it over. Fold it over. So I became shade cloth guy after that. That came out of my pay as well, what little of it there was, so not very efficient at all. So project-wise, for Casello, as far as, without giving any IP away or any herbs and spices about the company, in the lead up to the commencement of a project, what happens, let's say, in the days beforehand? What sort of things are organised for commencement?
Yeah, I could probably run with this one for the start. So we, for us, our cycle of works is estimate, win a project, estimating team wins a project. From there, we have what we call an internal handover. So it's handed over to all the different parties that need to be involved in that project, whether that be site management, procurement, whoever it may be.
Yep.
Then from that, we drill down even further, and each person in that handover meeting goes back out and completes their own tasks, so that we know that come 10 days' time, all of those key essential items are going to fit together for the start of the project.
Yep.
And that's even starting to get to the point where you're lining up suppliers and saying stock holdings and everything else. So therefore then that when Jono's site team, who has starting on site on 10 days' time, on that morning at 8 o'clock, there's a delivery there waiting for them, ready to go, after they've been through their induction.
Yep.
So it's a well-oiled machine now.
Yep.
I remember when I first started there,
Yeah.
it used to be a lot different, but technology's made it different, because the ability to be able to, like even now during this COVID pandemic, we're having all of our meetings via like Teams, Microsoft Teams, which if you would have said to us 12 months ago, you're going to need to do this meeting and that meeting via Teams, we would have looked at each other and said, nah, it just won't happen.
That's right.
But like the way that it's been forced upon us,
normality.
it's actually sometimes some of the meetings now, you look at them and you go, it's probably actually quicker for us to do our meetings this way moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah,
Then-
I think that's actually changed a lot of things.
Yeah,
as
so
well.
so for us as a lead into a job, yeah, that's pretty much it, unless you got anything.
Yeah, and it's just double checking that all the paperwork's, all the safety
Yep.
stuff's been completed and submitted, and all your like Matt said, your materials, your fixings, your timber if need be,
Yep.
and all your tools and site access equipment are ready to rock.
That leads me to a very interesting question. Speaking of suppliers, now we don't want to give ourselves too much of a plug here, but the Casello company has been pretty good to us over the last few years when we've been developing our trade portal on our website. And Matt in particular has been very helpful with giving us tips from the user's point of view and the purchaser's point of view as well. I guess a bit of a loaded question. Are there many other suppliers engaging in this sort of technology development?
We've got two,
Yep.
not in the same field.
Yep. It's okay if they are.
No. We would prefer all of our suppliers to be the ones that do deal in the day-to-day ordering. Yeah, to be like online portal based. In fact, that we probably look for suppliers that would have that ability moving forward.
Yeah.
Because the simple fact of the matter is, we love the ease of leading hand, being on a project, grabbing his phone and walking the floor, talking to the guys. And so, well, let's say he goes up to level 14 and Jim's there putting in skirting. And he goes, oh, listen, I need some more Paslade fixing nails.
Yeah.
Righto, bang, add it to the order.
Yeah.
Goes up another couple of floors to where they're doing something else a bit before that stage. Oh, yeah, we need a box of anchor screws. Yep, no dramas, putting in press metal door frames.
Yep.
So then at the end of the day, he comes downstairs, everyone comes down, he goes, oh, can I add a box of this and a box of that? Bang, hit send, and
Yep.
the next morning it's on site. And the simplicity in being able to complete that, I suppose, for us, it was the impetus for me to get so involved in that setup, because I could see moving forward how much time it saves us. Like, I remember being under Jono as a leading hand, and he used to drum into everyone, you've got to carry a little notebook and write notes as you're walking the floors, and you got to do this, and you like keep track of everything. So when you get downstairs, you can enter it all in the system. But this is more almost app-based, you know what I mean? Like, it's sort of, you walk the floor, you throw it in, bang, we're sent.
So we're leaving a working order open all day,
Yeah.
pretty much, and just saving in the cart without going through to the transaction stage
Yeah.
and then finalise it
Bang,
the way
done.
it goes. Well,
And
that's
you can always
it's been.
refer back to it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right too. So the reordering, it saves previous orders for similar jobs and all that kind
And
of
Matt's
stuff.
pet hate of chasing dockets.
Yeah, and if I need to chase invoices or anything, I can literally jump on
Yep.
at, like today at 4 o'clock
Yep.
and see what was sent out this morning at 7.
Well, you know, as of May 2020, that's our latest feature on Trade Portal. So well done, thank you.
Yeah.
So
Very smooth, Neil.
Yeah, I know, very, very small. I just worked that in there, just like I worked in this sip.
Yeah.
So, Matt, you were, I could see, I stalked your LinkedIn.
Yep.
You know, so you probably knew I did that because you saw my face come up on the thing. And I saw you were previously a project manager.
I wouldn't say project manager. That's the title you get
Is it
when
a
you.
lie, is it?
Yeah, it is. That's what a supervisor is, because there's no such thing as a supervisor tab on LinkedIn. So that's what Jono and all of our supervisors are classified as. Project managers, because that's what they manage, is multiple projects.
So what's your biggest challenge day to day, or what sort of variable keeps coming up that's sort of like not so much out of your control, but it tends to occur all the time that will knock you back for deadlines? Pick a big one.
Weather.
Yeah, weather, or just when you plan, you've coordinated your sequencing or something, and another trade doesn't keep up their end of the bargain, or there's something like weather or issues like even today on a job with crane lifts being pushed back, that throws you then out the next day and you've got to play catch up. So it's sometimes, like I've referred to my guys all as firefighters, it's just running around some days. You feel like you're just putting out one spot fire to the next, just trying to keep it all together, make it run as smoothly as you can. You put all the planning in place and it doesn't take much for the speed humps to arrive.
So how do you put it back together? Is it extra hours on the phone?
That's where everyone just comes together, whether it's the workers, the leading hand, the supervisor, or last minute Matty helping out with getting fixings or changing deliveries for stuff. Everyone just jumps in together.
Okay.
I suppose that's where Casello comes into its own as a team.
Yeah.
Like, all it takes is one phone call to say, we've had this go on, and it's happened in the past where a job might get held up and all of a sudden you've got 20 blokes you need to find a home for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we make it work. Or you get the phone call at 3:30, 4 o'clock to say, listen, we can no longer install all this. We need you to get all this material to site tomorrow morning.
That's one thing.
And it's a matter of the relationships, and which is what I was saying earlier. You call on those relationships and you say to your Allfasteners or whoever it may be, listen, I know it's 4 o'clock and I know that I'm asking a big favour, but tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock I need all of this on site.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I've got guys sitting there in the sheds doing nothing.
Yeah.
And that's one thing with our labour hire side of things that our clients look for, is it's a one-stop shop. We've got the labour, we've got the materials. We can make stuff happen at the last minute. We always try and accommodate.
Yeah, so I saw that. I saw there was a bit of a, I guess we call it like a parent brand structure going on with Casello. So Casello is the, I guess, the cladding and carpentry construction part of it. And then what other divisions are kind of like sisters and brothers to what you do?
There's Cas Construct, which is our domestic
Building
project
company.
management side of things. And then they've got Cas Real Estate, obviously real estate and property management.
Yep.
And Cas Urban, which is developments.
Yep.
And marketing, etc.
And Cas Create, which is our
Our
manufacturing factory. But all of those
We've got a couple
fall.
of CNCs in there.
Yeah.
Take care of a lot of our own production.
So you got a parent
And that
company
parent
as well?
company's Cas
Cas
Corporation.
Corporation,
Yeah. So.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. That all started in Melbourne.
Yeah, so it started way before my time.
Yeah, 98.
With,
That's what you were saying before.
Yeah, so 98, and I've been there about 15 years. So
Right. So what do you guys enjoy most with what you do in regards to the day-to-day?
it's like I mentioned before, it's always changing. There's always challenge. No day's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Work with a great bunch of people.
Yeah.
From the site teams to the office guys. Can't complain.
Yeah. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, it's like Jono said, not one day you feel happy about the same thing every day. I think the biggest thing for me is the team environment.
Yeah.
I've obviously worked in a few different places, and the team environment where you know that I could ring up somebody who I work with on a Sunday night and say, listen, XYZ's going on, and I'd have someone come and give me a hand.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that whole network.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a family at times, I think.
Yeah.
Like the at least the management side of it is I can call on anyone. But as site teams and everything else, everyone will do anything for anyone to help out. Whether it be your leading hand, whether it be a labourer, like they're all. That's what Casello is. Casello to me means family. Like it's somewhere I go to work and I do get paid, but I know that everyone there has compassion and empathy.
Well, on that note, Matt, I think that's a really, really great way to wrap it up, by the way. So once again, cheers for coming in and seeing us.
No dramas.
Here at Allfasteners. Those of you at home may actually hear the odd forklift and the odd bang and crash there. We are in a real working factory, so cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.